Welcome to the Double R Show, the podcast that features everything about North Lincoln County. The Double R Show, directed and produced by Paul Robertson and hosted by the voice of Lincoln City, Roger Robertson.
Well, we're going to find out about the Friends of Otter Rock, and this is kind of a new venture for us. Taylor Brooks is with us, Friends of Otter Rock Marine Reserve. Marine Reserve is what, Taylor?
Yeah, so we are one of the 5 marine reserves in Oregon. So they are areas of ocean conservation, ocean areas that are set aside for research purposes in particular. And they also have harvest restrictions, so there's no take of marine species or ocean development allowed in these areas. And they're managed by the Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife. So they use them for different monitoring efforts, and then each of those marine reserves has a community team that's associated with it as well.
How important is this marine reserve?
I think it's incredibly important. So they're really unique opportunities to find this intersection of both research and conservation, as well as outreach opportunities. We're, so lucky to have them in Oregon. Ours was one of the first that was established in 2012. So really exciting that we were just able to celebrate our 10th anniversary of having them. And they're just really incredible monitoring tools. So really awesome to have them in areas of really important ecological information.
Specifically, you do what, Taylor?
I am a marine program coordinator.
Okay.
So I help to organize our different programs. We're just in our first 2 years of programming, so kind of still in a stage of infancy of figuring things out. But right now we're really leaning into interpretive programs. So we mostly do our programs throughout the summer. And I help to coordinate those and recruit volunteers for them and then help run them throughout the summer.
Now, you mentioned there's 5 of these marine reserves all up and down the Oregon coast, I assume.
Yes. So we are the one right smack dab in the middle. So we're located at the unincorporated community of Otter Rock. So if you're familiar with the Devil's Punch Bowl State Natural Area, you can see the Otter Rock Marine Reserve from there. So we're about 17 miles or so south of where we're at here in Lincoln City.
How big an area spans does it cover?
We are the smallest of the marine reserves, so ours is just 1.2 square miles. So a small area, but still a lot of biodiversity packed into that area.
And when you're talking about biodiversity, you go out by boat and count fish. What do you do?
Yeah, there's all kinds of different sampling that happens. So ODFW does a lot of long-term monitoring there. They're really interested in nearshore species and shallow water species. So they do observations both from the water and some onshore sampling. And then there's a lot of community science monitoring that happens as well. So we help to execute some of those projects. So we do different surveys like marine debris monitoring and CSAR surveys. So we'll survey the intertidal zone and keep a track on those species as well.
Anything that has come out of it that has really surprised you or disappointed you?
Yeah, so a part of the motivation for doing some of the intertidal monitoring has been to keep an eye on the sea star wasting disease.
Okay.
So we're, well past the peak of that, but it did unfortunately totally wipe out the sunflower sea star species in particular. And that's a really important ecological species that we're really suffering without. It's been exciting to see a rebound in the sea star population. Especially at Otter Rock, we have a really healthy ochre star population, which is exciting. But during the last few sea star surveys we have done there, we have seen a few signs of kind of early stage wasting disease again. So that's definitely of concern, but something we're hoping to just continue to keep an eye on.
The monitoring you do, is that done by diving, or how do you go about?
Yeah, so we do our monitoring, and I know ODFW does some as well, of just from shore. So we'll go out during low tides and do surveys of specific plots and quadrants that we always go back to kind of observe different changes over time. And then they do some like underwater surveys as well through ODFW.
Have you seen a particular species rebound since the area was designated?
Yeah, so it's kind of too soon to say on, the ultimate benefits of the marine reserves. It's just been a pretty small time frame in the, the scale of things. But it is exciting that we're seeing, healthy sea star populations. It sounds like the rockfish population is really stable there as well. And right now we're seeing really dense kelp beds in the Otter Rock area in particular, which is really exciting. That's really important habitat for a lot of invertebrates and juvenile fish species, and something that's kind of been in decline in Oregon in general. So we're hoping that that trend increases positively in the area.
You talk with a lot of thought behind your process, your educational background to qualify to do what you do.
Yeah, so I have a marine science background myself. Okay. It's always been a passion of mine, and my undergraduate degree is in zoology, and I have a lot of background in ecological research and just a lot of interest and passion and outreach for marine science as well.
Any special events you got coming up that we should know about within your area?
Sure. So we are really focusing on our community science projects right now. So we're always looking for volunteers that are interested in getting involved. So that would
do what?
Yeah, so that would be for sea star surveys in particular. Okay. So that's a really great opportunity to get out into the tide pools and really get some hands-on experience. And then same goes for marine debris surveys. And then in the spring, we will start recruitment for our summer programs. So we have both a volunteer outreach program as well as a tide pool ambassador program.
And for somebody to get a hold of you, they do what? What do they call the website? Whatever.
Yeah, so we have a brand new website, which is really exciting. That's friendsofotterrock.org. So you can connect with us there and learn more about our programs. You can also reach me directly at friendsofotterrock@gmail.com. And then we also have a Friends of Otter Rock Facebook page.
Appreciate you coming in.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Taylor Brooks, Friends of Otter Rock, the Marine Reserve. More in a moment. If you're looking for great early garden fresh produce, it's Kenny's IGA in the Bay Area of Lincoln City. 4 generations of Morgans caring for your every grocery need. All of your favorite beverages, a full deli, meat, produce, and of course, groceries.
Get ready for Diamond Rio. What a beautiful mess, what a beautiful mess I made. Grammy Award winners and 6-time Vocal Group of the Year. The hit-making harmony of Diamond Rio. Saturday, February 17th, Chinook Winds Casino Resort. Here comes Diamond Rio. Tickets on sale now at ChinookWinds.com, Chinook Winds box office, or at 1-888-MAIN Act. Chinook Winds, where concerts are better at the beach.
I'm Adina Zeller. Zellers is now in 2 North Lincoln County locations. The original Zellers in Rose Lodge and now Zellers in Lincoln City, formerly Maxwell's. Zellers with great family food and kickin' fun like our line dancing. Just wait until you try our homemade clam chowder.
Explore Lincoln City. With us is Cole Finley. And Cole, you work for Explore Lincoln City as
the marketing manager.
As the marketing manager.
Yeah.
You've got your hands full.
I wish I had more hands, actually, Roger.
I bet you do.
Yeah, no, we do. There's a lot of initiatives that we are looking into and practicing, much of which right now is mainly focusing on our revamp for our industry outreach and our industry news. So
important for the local people to know and understand what you're doing.
Absolutely. So mostly, let's face it, Lincoln City, the number one industry in Lincoln City is tourism. And, the stakeholders involved in Lincoln City could be, you would think, your local business owners, your local organizations, but really it's any stakeholder impacted by tourism. Everyone's impacted.
Every single person.
Exactly. So it's important for us to get out and connect to every individual, whether we think they're a stakeholder or they think they're a stakeholder, and and build that relationship and that partnership with them, and make sure that they have access to the idea of said stakeholder, what can Explore Lincoln City do for you?
I've heard you in the last couple of weeks at Chamber at Kiwanis, other activities, stand up and say, we have new materials.
Absolutely.
And you have a lot of new material that you really want to get into the hands of the local people as well.
We do, yeah. So today is January 30th as we record, but starting the month of February, we are sending out our new industry newsletter. So it's important for us to know, it's important for our stakeholders to know whether you are already signed up for our industry news or if you aren't signed up for our industry news, we want you to sign up. So if you're signed up, sign up again.
And you're not going to sell me something?
No, not at all.
Okay. Wanted to get that out there.
No, yeah, we have no promo codes for anyone, but our goal is to connect with everyone involved and make sure that everyone has access to what we are bringing to the community as the tourism organization, and what our partners are bringing to the community.
And the community partners have brought a lot. And the one thing that keeps coming back to me in the 50 years that I've been here, but one of the best advertising vehicles that we have is all of these Portland television stations now have our weather all the time, and it's current time.
Oh yeah,
It's
easy to see that it's raining at the beach now.
Yes, or not.
Or not.
It's raining at Seaside. It's gorgeous in Lincoln
exactly.
City. Yeah,
exactly. Welcome to the coast, right? No, and it's more than just showing the people in Portland what it's like in Lincoln City,
yes.
because that's absolutely important. Because as mentioned before, it's important for people to be able to come and experience Lincoln City. Yeah, as residents of Lincoln City, let's we can show them this is what's great about the community that we live in.
It's amazing to me all of the experiences that are really available to us.
Yeah. So just the programming, the events that we hold year after year. But it's more than just that. So, I'm digressing, but it's connecting to not just the events that Explore Lincoln City is putting on, or the city, but all of the events that are, that local businesses are putting on, like whether it's karaoke night or it's, fundraisers for
the Angel Ball.
Exactly. I think you have stake in that.
A bit.
Just a little bit. And, one great example of that is the weekly hot sheet that Explore Lincoln City puts out. And this is having access to our industry page and, getting access to our regular industry newsletter will help get the word out to, get people to learn information about events within our local partners and local stakeholders.
As an individual, and if I want a copy of the Explore Lincoln City book that is just out right now, where do I go? Where do I get it?
Well, you can come to our Welcome Center on the 4th floor of City Hall, for one. Or you can go to explorelincolncity.com and go to our Request a Visitor's Guide page. It's a brand new, lovely, beautiful visitor's guide. And we're so excited that it's hot off the press. We're so excited to have it out. And, now we just want people to take them all. We don't want them. We want people to have them.
And on the other side of the coin, if I am a business and running a hotel, whatever would happen to be, I may want to have a rack of these.
Yep. So what we can do is, once again, you can go to explorelincolncity.com. Probably not the last time I'm going to say that on this conversation. And what you can do on our industry page, you can request multiple brochures.
Okay.
So you can request a box or a packet of our visitors' guides.
And you wouldn't be objecting to have somebody stop up and want to take
Not
over
at
the
all.
case?
Not at all. No. We'll make you fill out the form if you're going to take a case, but we'll we want to make sure that we're able to share it with our local stakeholders.
Explore Lincoln City, critically important not only to the business community, but to the local community, the seniors as well. It's kind of nice to know you live in a place that everybody wants to come to.
I know, right? Isn't it great? I originally come from Kansas, and it makes me think, oh wow, what's it like to live in a place that people want to visit?
Here it is.
And here it is, right in Lincoln City, Oregon.
Explore it.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
Cole Finley's been our guest. Explore Lincoln City is the visitor guide. It's available for you to pick up right now at the Lincoln City Explore office upstairs, 4th floor, City Hall. More in a moment.
When looking for the bestsellers of today and yesterday, look no further than Bob's Beach Books. Hi, I'm Diana Portwood, and on behalf of my sister Emily at Roberts Bookshop, we thank our dad, Bob, for the vision he had in establishing our 2 family-owned bookstores in Lincoln City.
We at La Roca are proud of our food, but don't take our word for it. Read the reviews. One person wrote, the service was friendly and efficient. Another writes, La Roca has become one of our favorite because it's authentic Mexican food.
On your feet, on your knees, Blue Oyster Cult is back live. Saturday, March 9th at Chinook Winds Casino Resort. The red and the black is back. BOC. All the hard rock anthems of Blue Oyster Cult live in concert. Saturday, March 9th at Chinook Winds Casino Resort. Tickets on sale now at ChinookWinds.com. Chinook Winds box office or by phone at 1-888-MAIN-ACT. Feel the thunder of Blue Oyster Cult. Chinook Winds, where concerts are better at the beach.
Our next guest is Boone Marker, and Boone has been known in the Lincoln City community for a lot of years in reference to kids' activities, especially with the community center, now with the high school.
Yeah, I've been helping out at the high school for a number of years. I've been in Lincoln City just over 8 years, and, I come from that. I want to be engaged. I've been working with kids in all sorts of age ranges from second grade, first grade, all the way up through high school, and, I started going to high school games, and I kind of got into more of a speaking role.
Sure.
Mainly because I was talking with Eric Goff, who was the KBCH radio announcer for the basketball and football, and I saw him up in the press box, and I do a little halftime with him. And me speaking in front of groups wasn't anything new to me. I've been doing it for about 10 or 15 years prior, with working with Boys and Girls Club in Salem, and just kind of being that loud vocal guy. And then kind of an opportunity arose for me to become like the general PA announcer for high school football and boys and girls basketball.
You really enjoy it, don't you?
Oh, yeah. And it's been really great the last few years. Just, I guess my personality is coming in, and just like being the voice of the Tigers in a sense.
In the high school, Tigers have gotten respectable.
Yeah. It's been a tough decade.
Sure.
When it comes to high school sports, and especially for basketball, they're right around the 20 and 21 ranked teams right now, but they've put up a really big fight in this second half against teams that they were getting beat pretty good by. For example, we had the girls went double overtime against like number 8 ranked Jefferson, and just came up short of a few rebounds here and there that allowed extra time. And then the boys also have had a few double overtime thrillers. Last week they played Dayton, and boy, that was exciting. Some 3-pointers late in the game to push it to overtime. And again, you get into that double overtime, and 1 or 2 fouls really does the work. But being the person that is announcing those, and I like to think that I can bring the energy up in the gym when we hit a big 3-pointer, and that's just the exciting point. And,
it's fun stuff, Boone. It's fun stuff.
I will say I do practice once in a while. Even though I was coming here today, I was in the shower, doing a little Taft Tigers.
Now, you are going to be doing some broadcasting as the Tigers continue through the state playoffs, and people will be able to get a play-by-play of a game elsewhere.
Yeah, if the Tigers do well enough, they're in a really tough conference. This 3A conference tends to be really challenging. But the last few years with Eric Goss, I've been able to do some play-by-play, color, and production of the 3A and 4A boys and girls state finals down in Coos Bay, which is where the 3A is hosted at Marshfield High School, the Pirate Palace, as they call it. And that's one of my favorite venues to do any sports related, and we normally get some pretty good basketball too.
So where do people listen to it? Where do they hear it?
What we do is we're a live game broadcast through the NFHS network, the National Federation of High School Sports. It's a you got to pay to watch type program.
Yep, okay.
You can pay by month or pay for the year. And we stream the games live through the NFHSnetwork.com. And those are really long days for us broadcasters. We get there about 7:30 in the morning, and we're out of there normally about midnight.
So you're not just doing Taft games?
No. This is the state finals. The Taft stuff, Right now, you can really only stream it online if you're there home. There's an app called Team One Sports. It's also something you can stream online through a web browser. They got away from the NFHS.
But they're not doing that, are they? Or are they?
It's not I mean, you can stream it, but there's no broadcast.
Okay.
So me at Taft, I'm just I'm not a play-by-play guy. I'm announcing the starting lineups and making sure the introductions go well and really try to bring a strong energy to that gymnasium.
Now, will you be doing the same for baseball, softball, track and field?
They don't typically require my services, I suppose. I will, however, the softball stadium is getting a new concession stand and press box.
They'll have a press box.
And so I'm hoping that might be an opportunity for me to get back in there.
You started your career in Lincoln City with the community center and all of the little kid basketball and whatever would happen to be. But that really is where the program begins.
Absolutely. And I think the coolest part for me right now is that I've seen 8 years of work, I guess, whereas the kids that are in high school now were in like second or third grade when I moved here in 2015. And just seeing their growth, knowing that they came from Parks and Rec program and seeing them be successful in high school, especially after unfortunately we don't see a lot of really great basketball or volleyball or football teams. We're just right on outside the bubble sometimes. But to know that in some way, like my work has helped influence them to either keep playing the sport or want to get better, try to get them to do some things outside of just high school sports, whether it's club sports or whatever. And I think another rewarding component is some of these kids are at the age now that they're about to graduate. And there's not a lot of kids that leave Taft and get the chance to play collegiate sports. But I had a young lady come up to me after her dad flagged me down. He's like, hey, she's going to Eastern Oregon to do track and field. And they're talking about Olivia Mode, who's just a monster and the greatest kid on and off the court. And I saw her the next day. I was like, hey, Liv, congratulations. That's fantastic. You're going to go to college to do some sports. She said, hey, Coach Boone, thanks for getting me into hurdles. And I melted inside. These kids get older and sometimes they see you and they're like, oh, there's Coach Boone. And then you get some other ones that are like, hey, Coach Boone, how's it going? It's good to see you. And those are always the things that, as a person, just make you feel good, knowing that you had some type of a positive impact on those kids.
Having a positive impact on kids. Coach Boone Marker. More in a moment.
Greetings, this is Marnie Whipple with Holland America Line, and it is a real pleasure to be joining Roger and the team at Always Traveling. Today we have selected 2 really special voyages that cover Europe, and the first one is part of our legendary journeys. Now, we have 11 ships cruising the 7 seas and many cruises that vary in length from 7 days all the way up to 133, but we've narrowed it down to 2 of these really popular but interesting, very interesting. The first is a 35-day voyage of the Vikings. It's round trip from Boston, really easy for airlift, so you just need to fly within the domestic part of North America here. So from Boston, we will go in a really interesting path through Nova Scotia, stopping in Sydney, St. John's. We'll travel through parts of Iceland, including Reykjavik, Akureyri, and I hope I'm saying it correctly there. And we'll then head over to Oslo, which we have a really rich connection, so many of us, with our Scandinavian heritage. So that's my number 1 pick, is the 35-day voyage of the Vikings. That leaves July 20th of 2024. Or if you're already planning your 2025 journeys, we have a really interesting itinerary on October 7th. That's round trip from New York, stopping in some marquee ports as well as some lesser known ports. So it's quite a mix. That 45-day voyage includes places like Ponta Delgada, also stopping through Valletta and Crete, going through the Straits of Gibraltar, heading into Kushadashi, which of course is a wonderful stop to be able to explore Ephesus, on to Istanbul, Napoli, and my favorite city, and there are a few more on this itinerary, but just a quick highlight, stopping in Barcelona. And make sure, a little inside tip for you there, in Barcelona, there's a wonderful little restaurant at the end of the pier, and Los Ramblas, of course, is interesting with its incredible food market. So everywhere we go, there's neat stops along the way, and Roger and the team will help you choose the itinerary for your dreams for Europe. Thanks for choosing Holland America and working with Roger and the team at Always Traveling.
Northwest Septic Service is your one-stop shop for all your septic needs.
Northwest Septic Service offers pumping, maintenance, repair, and inspections with one call, 541-994-6977.
Buying or selling a home? Northwest Septic Service can inspect your sewer line or an entire septic system.
Old or failing septic system? Northwest Septic Service can rejuvenate most drain fields, saving you thousands of dollars. 541-994-6977.
Serving Lincoln, Tillamook, and Yamhill counties, Northwest Septic Service.
Wouldn't it be great to have all your insurance needs handled by one agency? This is Charlotte Lado with Farmers Insurance and the Insurance Store. Visit our office next to the Wildflower Grill in Lincoln City. Let us be your one stop for your personal, commercial, health, and Medicare insurance needs.
It's been an interesting program, but we have a number of other activities in and around North Lincoln County that we want to draw your attention to. For instance, Friends of the Lincoln City Parks and Rec is a new nonprofit that formed in the summer of 2023, and they're raising money for lots of park activities in and around Lincoln City. The big one coming up down in Taft, David Jameson has been on board talking about that. That is a marvelous, marvelous addition to the community.
Yeah, that's going to be a fantastic addition and much needed. You know, lots of flat spaces out there for soccer and the like, and there's lots of different parts of that park that they've outlined.
Beautiful use of property to keep it in a family atmosphere from whence it came.
Yeah, well, the old grade school, right?
Right, that's
so,
right.
I remember spending some time out in those fields, and
and you're going to have an opportunity to be back out there again. Having Boone Marker on the program today was kind of interesting, and we want to draw your attention to some of the sporting activities this weekend for the Taft Tigers. We've got the district swim meet down in Newport. That's Friday and Saturday, I believe, 9 and 10. So an opportunity to watch both the boys and girls in action in the swim meet. Then we also have boys basketball and girls basketball. Final home game of the season for the Tigers as they play host to Scio, the boys at 6, and the girls take to the hardboards at 7:30. Wrestling, something that you participated in as well, Paul.
Oh, yeah, starting from as a wee lad, but in high school as well, you bet.
Special District 2 championships are Saturday, 10 o'clock over at Sheridan High School. So watch for more information, listen for more information from Boone Marker about the antics or the winnings and comings and goings of the Taft Tigers. We have a Lincoln City Playhouse. This is going to be a lot of fun because it gives you your opportunity to show the world that Lincoln City has got talent. For more information on that, contact the Lincoln City Playhouse players, and they'll get you hooked up. Veterans have a free luncheon, a homemade soup and sandwich luncheon. This takes place compliments to the Lincoln City Elks right next to Bi-Mart in the midsection of Lincoln City twice a month, the second and fourth Wednesdays. And speaking of veterans, there soon will be a pole erected with the American flag, the first one to fly on that pole. We received compliments to David Gomberg from United States Congress. It flew in Washington, D.C., and the next time it will go into the air will be on the flagpole almost next to Bob's Beach Books.
Correct. Yeah, it's right there in Ocean Lake, and I know you had a large part to putting that together and raising funds from Chinook Winds or the Confederate Tribes Flats Indians and other folks to build that space and get those flags up.
American Legion raised in the neighborhood of about $5,000 to get that project underway, and the city then grabbed by the horns and will erect the pole and the lights, and it will be lighted. It will be a neat remembrance. We have a lot of veterans in and around the community. Lincoln City Chamber of Commerce has got their monthly chamber luncheon. That's the fourth Tuesday. They'll get an update on the North Lincoln County Emergency Communications System. Communications, something that you're interested in.
Indeed. And in fact, the Cascade Head Bisport Collaborative on the 20th of March is going to be putting on another Signs on Tap, and we're going to be working with folks from the emergency preparedness again to talk about fire and emergency communications and such. So yeah, look for that again, March 20th at Pelican Brew Pub.
And again, our thanks to our special guests that joined us on the podcast today. If you have an item of interest to you, it will no doubt be of interest to somebody else. Send us an email to
Roger@RRshow.com.
And we'd be more than happy to talk to you about the potential of getting you on the Double R Show. We've got some authors forthcoming. A number of authors have contacted us in the last couple of weeks and want to come in and talk about their books. And that ought to be kind of interesting as well. That will do it to the doings on the Double R Show. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share. And you and your family and friends around the world and across the street can join us on the Double R Show. For Paul and Jana, I am Double R. Have yourself a happy day.
You've been listening to The Double R Show. Join Roger and Paul Robertson as they explore everything about North Lincoln County. The Double R Show, produced by Always Productions and hosted by Roger Robertson. Have a story? Email contact@alwaysproductions.com or call 458-201-3039. For The Double R Show, I'm Jana Grawn.